Howdy folks, welcome to another episode of Super Hamster Plays Kingdom Death Monster. As ever, do me a favour, hit the thumbs up button on this video, twice if you like. Actually don't do it twice because that will just untick it. And of course, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Help me take over YouTube, one subscriber at a time. In the last episode, our brave explorers, survivors, that's the word I'm looking for, our brave survivors, George, Gary, formerly George, Mel, formerly Mildred, Miriam, formerly Mithrax, and Rick, formerly Bobby, took on this guy, the level 1 Screaming Antelope, and frankly dissected it at will. We collected a whole bunch of resources, and I was contemplating whether or not we'd be able to use those resources to make some of the Screaming Antelope related gear. And the short version is no. In order to do that, we would need a stone circle, which is one of the locations we can make. Where is it? Needing 3 organs and a hide. And I don't think we have those materials. But anyway, even if we did, we don't actually have enough of the resources that you need to make antelope armor. So I've got a plan going forward, but we'll see how the fickle fingers of fate comes to bother us. So where would that be? That would be settlers turn, endeavours, update death count. I'm sure it's in there somewhere, but anyway, we'll put that deck there. We will just use where is he? We'll use our old man survivor model to mark our way down the trail, and we're going to need some endeavours. Right. So, first things first, set the board up. I've done that. These are the locations we have. The innovation should be across the top, but space is a bit limited, and that's depart survivors, so we're not going to get any further than that today anyway. So I put the 6 innovations that we have over here, which is language, symposium, ammonia, paint, hovel, and lantern oven. These are the materials we gained. We also have a couple in the bank. What do we have spare? We have 2 broken lanterns, a monster hide, 2 unknowns, a couple of nuggets of iron, and a lion claw. So we've got a few stashed away. So let's get going. Right. Survivors return. Heal returning survivors. Remove tokens. Yeah. Do not remove gear. Gain endeavours. 1, 2, 3, 4 returning survivors. 4 endeavours. Nobody has tinker. No. So we don't gain any more. That's 4 endeavours, which is more than enough. Update the timeline. I'm just going to put those there. Right. Here is our sheet. Update the timeline. We are in Lantern Year 6. We took on a... Who did we kill? What did we kill? That's the quarries. Here we are, a Antelope, level 1. Right, so Draw a settlement event card and resolve it. Such an awkward sized deck. We have a rivalry. Another rivalry. We've had one of these before. If there are less than 2 returning survivors, discard rivalry and draw a new event. Select 2 random returning survivors. They begin to argue and their screams rouse the settlement. Right. First survivor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, re-rolling 9s and 10s. So Myth got into a rivalry and had to miss a couple of turns for his bickering. Now he's gone off and had a personality transplant, become back as Miriam, and he's got the same issues. Right, and in this case it's with 1 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 9, re-rolling a 10. With Rick. Alright. Roll a d10. 9. After hours of yelling, the 2 rivals begin to speak in calm voices. Slowly they come to an understanding. The 2 rivals each gain 1 survival and 1 understanding. 1 understanding. And 1 survival. So we're up to 3 and 4. Okay. So that's a bit of a Barney. And they sorted it out. Now we could roll for a duel later on, but that's probably going to result in somebody dying. Yeah, let's not do that. But either way, we've had a rivalry. He's got some sort of attitude problem, I have to say. Right. So trigger story events and settlement events on the timeline. On Lantern Year 6, we have to resolve the event Armoured Strangers. So I'm just going to grab the book and we'll dig out Armoured Strangers. Armoured Strangers. You are visited by enigmatic figures, fully enclosed in armour. They march silently through the settlement. The only noise is a metallic clang as they pause before each survivor and tap their lantern halberds against the ground. The survivors have no choice but to helplessly await their mute deliberations. Add the Kingsman to the Nemesis encounter list. The strangers count people and take action based on your population total. We have a population of 13, 14 now. It's certainly 8 or more. So we're going to be rolling a d10 and consulting this table here. Big numbers. 9. The strangers destroy a random innovation. Return the lost innovation card to the settlement innovation deck. The survivors may choose to resist. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, re-rolling 7 or more to 6. They have destroyed our lantern oven. Now I've seen how dangerous these people are, and frankly losing the lantern oven is probably the best thing that could have happened. Well, losing a lantern oven is not a good one, but just losing an innovation is probably the best one we could have had. So we'll take it. Goodbye lantern oven. And then they push off. So let's update the timeline. Armoured Strangers. What did we have? We had a rivalry. And we have lost lantern oven. Presumably they smash up our oven. And as the person that discovered heat was hideously disfigured in the last one and cast out, I think. Yes, because that was the Bone Witch thing that's going to come up in the near future. That's that. So, where are we? We have lost the lantern oven. So we can cross that out, which means we will lose smelting and cooking and come back to lantern oven as a possible innovation. So we need to take out scrap and cooking. Scrap and cooking, and we gain back the lantern oven. What did the lantern oven give us? Departing survivors gain 1 survival, so we need to reduce that one, but we might get lucky and draw it back up. So we'll see. But just for now, let's reduce that to a +2. Right. Game endeavours, update timeline. Update death count. Nope. Check milestones. From this step on, trigger any milestone story events when their conditions are satisfied. Right. Well, first thing we need to do is our new survivor. Were they male or female? Odd, they're female. Because female. Even. Male. And we need a name. Pablo. Except that's Paplo, isn't it? Pablo with a B, not with a second P. I don't know why. It'll do. And we had some events to trigger, didn't we? Where has the list gone? Mel came of age, so we've got that to do. And Mirren hit his understanding threshold of 3 and became a specialist. So let me look those up and we'll be back in a sec. Okay, so Mel here has come of age. So here we are with the age. Gain winning XP. You may choose a weapon specialization. Well, I think we're going to go with guitar because that seems to be working. And then roll 2d10. Gain a random fighting art. Just so happen to have those here. She will gain Berserker. Once per showdown, you may spend an action to suffer bash and the frenzied brain trauma. Okay. So she can punch herself in the head to make herself insane. Right. And that. Miriam has gained enough understanding for insight. Now, when did they gain it? I think he gained it on the hunt. Was it on the hunt? I think it was on the hunt. No, it wasn't. It was during the fight, wasn't it? So it's on the showdown. Right. Okay. Yeah, because it was something. Wasn't it the scraping one or something? Anyway, we'll do it from here. Watching the chaotic movements of monsters, you perceive a pattern. Perhaps its motives are not so different from your own. You can imagine yourself in the monster's place. Gain the following ability and roll on the table. Analyze. At the start of your survivor's turn, if you're adjacent to the monster, reveal the top AI card, then place it back on the top of the deck. Right. And then we roll on the table. 10. Gain +1 permanent movement. That's 6. And analyze. So that's age, that's insight. And weapon specialization was the other one, wasn't it? Spear. Weapon specialization. Weapon proficiency. Spear, that's daggers, grand weapons, katars, spears. Specialization. That's the mastery. Right. When attacking with a spear, if you draw a trap, roll a d10. On a 7, cancel the trap, discard it, and shuffle the hit location. Then reshuffle the hit location, discard into the hit location deck, and draw a new card. Limit of once per round. So yeah. Okay, so you can fend people off. So I have to remember that one. I think that's all our events. Let's check there's nothing else on the timeline. Armored Strangers, Rivalry. We completed those events. Oh, that was up there, wasn't it? Check milestones, that's everything. And then develop. Right. Develop. We have, what did I say we had? So extra resources. We have the resource card here. I do. We have broken lanterns, 2 of those. We have a monster hide, 1 of those. And we have 2 of the question marks, but I don't have those here. And then we've also got 2 iron and a lion claw. Well, let's dig those out as well. Basic resources, strange resources. 2 iron. And I'm just going to remember the claw along with the 2 unknowns. Now, we've got all these things we can do, but I want to spend an innovation here making a leather worker. So we need to spend an organ. We don't have any, so I'm going to spend 1 of the unknowns. So that's my organ. I'm going to spend the other unknown as a hide. Also a hide, so that's 2 hide, and 1 of those, 3 hide. We have made ourselves a leather worker. So that cost us that. Was that right? Yeah, we took 1 from there. 1 that was a resource, and these 2 unknowns. So we've got rid of all of that plot. And that is now everything we have. So they can go on the resource pile. And it cost us an innovation. What other things do we wish to innovate? That is the question. Now, what our lovely leatherworker lets us do, amongst other things, is make leather mask, leather braces, leather cuirass, leather skirt, leather boots. But to do that, we need 2 hide and 1, 2, 3, 4. We need 5 leather. Well, we have the hide, 2 hide. Leather making. So that's something we can do because we have ammonia. Spend any number of hide to add an equal number of leather strange resources. So we can convert basically hide into leather. So we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hide in total to make a full set. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're not doing it today. We can also make shields. That's going to take another leather and a hide. Shields adds 1 to all locations, which is pretty cool. So that might well be worth doing at some point. Well, first things first, we want to use our lantern hoard and do our innovate action. So we need to spend 1 bone, 1 organ, 1 hide, and 1 endeavour. So we're definitely not going to have enough. So we're spending those, and that will let us draw normally 2, but because of Symposium we will draw 4. Let's see what we get. We have partnership, we have inner lantern, we have lantern oven, face painting. Nominate 2 survivors. They pair off and they gain the partner ability. A survivor may be nominated for partnership once per life. Partner. When you both arrive, gain survival up to the survival limit. Partners may only nominate each other for intimacy. When a partner dies, the remaining partner gains a random disorder and loses this ability. So what's the upside? You gain survival up to your limit. Not feeling that one. Inner lantern. All survivors gain the surge ability. Once per round you may spend 1 survival to gain an action and use it immediately. Could be useful. The lantern oven, we already know what that does. You get source of heat, becomes available to the settlement. We gain departing survivors, gain +1 survival. Face painting, battle paint. As an innovation, roll a d10. On a 1 to 3 you're a laughing stock, nothing happens. On a 4 or more, a death paint ceremony, departing survivors gain 2 survival and 1 insanity. Or a founder's eye, roll a d10, accidental mess, nothing happens. On a 4+, gain +1 on all rolls on the intimacy story event this settlement phase. Nope. Do we want surge to be able to attack lots? Or do we want lantern oven to give us the survival points? Well, a lot of our equipment gives us extra survival anyway, and we're already gaining 2. Our limit is currently 4. On people with gloves and boots, we're gaining 2 anyway. Our harp gives us another 1. I'm going to go with inner lantern, because theoretically we can then move twice and attack twice in a single turn. So yeah, we're going to gain inner lantern, which gives us some options on the survival front. And I like options. Options are fun. So where are we? Inner lantern, giving us access to scarification, destiny, and a shrine. Destiny would give us access to +1 survival and the endure survival action. What's endure? endure isn't on here, is it? It's on there, and I can't read it from here, so we'll have to look that one up if and when it comes up. Yeah, so we get access to shrine. Alright, so we have 2 endeavour points left, and we have a bunch of equipment. Right. We've only got 2 hide. Well, let's have a look at the leather equipment and see what we've got. Okay, so here are the 6 things that we can make from the leather worker. There is also, what am I missing? It's 5 pieces of armour and the 2. No, that's everything. Right, so we've got the shield. You can spend your action to block, ignoring the first attack that hits you next, which is quite useful. It also adds 1 to all hit locations. Again, useful. We have a whip. 3 attacks hitting on 6s with 3 plus to the strength. And if you can get a blue on both of those, if you score a perfect hit, you would discard 1 mood that's in play. It's okay, but it's not great, so we're going to discard that one. The leather boots and the leather bracers both give 3 armor in arms or feet, and when you depart with the bracers, you gain +2 survival, useful. And if you have leather boots and you can get a green on both of those, at the end of your act you may move 1 square, so you can run in, hit the beastie, and then retreat. Both useful, but I think they'll be more useful together because that will give us 1 of the green things needed to trigger boots. I think it was monster grease would also give us the second one to complete that, so we're almost there, but we don't have enough materials to make both of those this turn, so they're out too. Leather cuirass is just 3 armor to the head. Leather skirt is just 3 armor to the waist. Both quite useful, but we've already got lots of cloth, which gives us 1 point in the armor, and we don't have any spare stuff to go in the chest. And they both cost exactly the same. Do they cost the same? No. The cuirass costs an extra bone, but we've got loads of bone, so I'm going to discard that one. The leather mask needs a leather and a scrap, but we have scrap from our broken lanterns down here, of which we have 2. 3 armor to the head, always useful. When you depart, gain +2 insanity, also useful because some of our characters are starting to get a little bit sane. So I am currently torn because we can make both of those, or we can make 1 shield. And my current thinking is to make 2 of those, because that gets us a lot closer to making a full suit of leather. We would just need the bracers, the skirt, so we would need 5 hide, which we would then have to make into leather, so it's just an endeavour. Right, so we'll get rid of the shield, put all of this stuff back. To make these guys a cuirass and a mask, we need 1 leather, 1 scrap. So that's an endeavour to turn that into leather, and 1 scrap. That gets us the mask, and the cuirass is 1 leather and 1 bone. There's the bone. So we've made those 2. We've spent all this lot. These are our resources, and we're down to 1 point in the endeavours. Oh, if only we had another one, we could make the weapon crafter. Leatherworking, by the way, spend any number of hide, so any number, and gain an equal number of leather resources and add them to the settlement storage. You have to have ammonia, which we have, and you just cost you one endeavour. So one endeavour you can make as much as you like. It's not one endeavour per point of leather. So that's that. Do we need any more weapons? I do like the idea of getting a bone axe, because our friend Rick up there does have the axe specialisation, but we don't have anything. I like the idea of getting some sickles, but we need the leather. We don't have that either. I'm kind of tempted, as we do have quite a few resources here, to go for the augury event and see if we can get somebody pregnant, for want of a better term, or even just to gain some understanding. So do we have anyone with a high understanding? Let me check the other survivors in the camp and see who we've got. You can't see that one. There you go, Brian. Brian's got 3 understanding. Let's have Brian stare into the meaning of existence. See what he can come up with. So survivor endeavours to glean the meaning of existence. Roll on the table, add 1 to the result if the survivor has a 3 or higher understanding. 3, so that takes it to a 4. He gains 1 point of survival. Meh. Meh. Brian's up to survival 3. So a bit of a waste, but that's our last endeavour. So development. Prepare the departing survivors. And I can't help but think, based on this one, in our next encounter, which will be a year 7, I think we're going to go for a level 2 antelope. But that will be a couple of videos time. As we have now technically encountered is it the Hand or the Kingsman? It was the Kingsman. The guys, the armoured strangers who walked through and smashed up our lantern oven. They are the Kingsman, which is one of the monsters you can fight. In that particular case, I decided not to, because in my gaming group's other campaign that we play on a Friday night, we recently fought a Kingsman and he slaughtered us. We didn't get a single wound on him, and he killed all 4 members of our party dead without breaking a sweat. They are proper dangerous unless you're tooled up to equip them to fight back. And at this point, I still think we're a bit underpowered for them, which is why I decided to let him smash up my lantern oven if that's what he wanted to do. But I am going to show you how to put them together. So the next video will be how to assemble the Kingsman, because if you're at this point in the campaign, you might not have a choice. One of the options on that table where you're rolling for what they do is they decide to kill 5 members of your community. Just pick 5 people at random and kill them. You can resist, i.e. fight them, this is exactly what happened to my gaming group. We had a population of 8. They decided that was too many and they were going to kill 5 of us, which would have taken us down to 3, and we thought if that happens, it's game over. So we sent 4 people out to fight him, to resist. He killed those, which left us with just 4. Unfortunately, it left us with a cripple, no, 2 cripples, an idiot, and a brand new survivor who didn't have any stats or skills. We lost a lot of equipment. We had some rare gear that was lost because of that one. We had bad rolls on the hunt table, so we were losing equipment left, right and centre, and basically it ended our campaign. We decided there's only 4 people left. We are way behind the curve as it is, so we're not coming back. So yeah, Kingsman, bad news. But you might have to face him. At the end of the day, if he says, I'm going to kill 5 people at random, or you can fight him and at worst case lose 4, and you get to choose which 4 you send against him, then that's the way to go from a gameplay point of view. Unfortunately for us, we worked out that if we lost any more than sort of 2 or 3, it wasn't worth carrying on. So we've actually ended our campaign. But as I say, you might not have that choice, in which case you'll need to be able to stick him together in order to fight him. So in the next video, I will show you how to fight, or how to assemble the Kingsman for the battle. But our next encounter will be, I think, hunting another antelope, because that was a different encounter, because he wasn't constantly charging us and attacking. He was a bit more tactical with him moving around and leaping about and so forth. And so yeah, we will we'll take him out in the next one. So I'll work out which survivors are going and which are not, and we'll put some of our new gear into position. We'll probably take some different people out. In fact, we'll have to, because a couple of the people here got post-traumatic stress and can't go out in the next hunt. Some of the people that were injured in the last one were coming back. So we'll carry on from there. And that's where we are. Thanks for watching the video. Thumbs up for leatherworking. Thumbs up for wearing a leathery face mask. If only chainsaws were in this game. Yeah, +1 if you've enjoyed this video. I really do appreciate it. It does help me out. It does get the channel noticed. It gets the word out. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, especially if you don't want to miss the assembly video. And very soon after that, spoiler alert, after the next settlement phase, we have the option of hunting a phoenix, which is the big monster that comes with the base set. So I'm going to have to stick that together, and that's quite a complicated model. It's across about 3 or 4 sprues, and it's got loads of tiny little accessories. And when I say loads, I mean like 30 or 40 little pieces that you have to stick together onto the bigger pieces. So that might be a 2-part video. But there you go. So that'll be a couple down the line. And if you don't want to miss me assembling the Kingsman next week, or next episode, and the Phoenix a couple of episodes down the line, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Help me take up a YouTube 1 subscriber at a time. Thanks for watching. This is Super Hamsta signing out. Bye for now. Bye bye.